Clips. Alrighty, YouTube, and YouTube's another one of Kips Clips. So the other day when I was doing Not the InfoWars Nightly News, I didn't have enough time. I was working to a limit. I didn't have enough time to elaborate. But through the process of, let me smallify myself, through the process of speaking, being sceptical about the skeptics, surely they would understand that, eh? Scratching a wee bit beneath the surface about these people and who they propose to be, and look into their history, where they're from, and then, I don't know, come to your own conclusion rather than the conclusion that they rock up and go, hey, I'm from Common Purpose, I'm here to help. Hey, I'm from UK Column, I'm here to help. Anyway, it's about having the sort of a confidence in yourself to like look at these people and go, who are they? What do they want? Right, very interesting interview this. I'm going to do a part, I'm going to maybe do a full video on it actually, but anyway, this guy here on the left, David Scott, I met him when he done the talk, the UK Column talk in Glasgow. One of the interesting things that made these, and they all seem like lovely gentlemen, I'm not denying that at all. Sat there listening to their talk and stuff. Anyway, one of the interesting things I heard them engaging with and being engaged by was the theory that's put out there that the Scots are descendant from the Israelites. I know you've not heard it before, but hey, I've got a bit of paper that shows you it's true. Him there in the left, him there in the left, completely down believes that. He was in Israel this year for his summer holidays, and I would say, I'm from Scotland, he's from Scotland. I would burn, like, I would go as red as my top within 2 seconds of being in Israel. He would go as red as his top, never staying in Israel. Anyway, I digress. So, a man in the middle, ex-GCHQ. Now I just want to do it for all the good people. And now he married a Dutch woman. Now he's staying over in Dutch. But now Britain first as he stays in Holland. Brian Gerrish, ex-Navy officer in Plymouth. Stays in Plymouth. Anyway, I digress. Then they've got the same backstory as Mike Rivero, one might say. If you were inventing a new media and you wanted to place personalities, outfits, talking heads in amongst the information war, you would need to give them a bit of a backstory how they got there. Brian Gerrish, he's got a fucking shite backstory. Guy in the middle, I just wanted to help Brian Gerrish, so I offered my services. I wanted to be a real boy. See, if you held him up to the sun, he'd be more see-through than me. And him in the left, he just wants to be back to Christian values. Agenda, got an agenda. And Brian Gerrish, by the way, who got an award off a human rights organisation who gets funded by the Church of Scientology. So anyway, touched on them, and the man on the left during this interview here, which the details are there if you want to go and watch it, touched on the Arbroath Declaration. Oh, sorry, the Declaration of Arbroath. And I thought it'd be worthwhile to sort of go over the deep ingrained Christian British beliefs that these three gentlemen all share. I think one of these, one for all and all for one, when the guy was saying, we are all Christians. There's different forms of Christianity, I do believe. One of them might not believe, I don't know. It sounds like they're all in the same fucking club. I have no problem with anybody being Christian and all that, but it's like, listen to what they want to do. They want to go back to 1215. They want to go back to 1320. Oh wow, getting it. 1320. They want to go back to the Magna Carta. They want to go back. Oh, look how good it was in the olden days. And go look at the people that set that stuff up. I'm arguing I don't know. I feel I've got a better argument. Let's look forward, create something new, and let's stop looking back and go, oh, it was so much better when everybody just feared for their life because of the baby Jesus. I don't agree. Declaration of Arbroath, signed in 1320 by all the important people of Scotland, most noticeably Robert the Bruce and Bernard of Kilwinning. Bernard of Kilwinning, as his name might indicate, came from Kilwinning. Kilwinning, here's Kilwinning. Here's Kilwinning Abbey. And there's the Mother Lodge of Scotland. Not the Grand Lodge of Scotland, Mother Lodge of Scotland. You'll also find as well, it's the Mother Lodge of the world. It's the oldest known... Right, let me get this. You used to get temporary lodges and then it morphed into permanent lodges. It's the longest known, continuously used permanent lodge in the world, bar zero. It is ground zero of Freemasonry, full stop, right? Then you need to go and look where this area, why would this area land all of a sudden pop up with this new Brotherhood chivalry, or like a different bastardised version of it, with all these legends and tales and myths, which is only verifiable by bits of paper that somebody wrote on it that was a bit brown, and then another guy went, "Aye, I think that's real. Aye, fuck it, we'll go with that." And the time frame as well, what I want to put in here, and we'll go on to read the Declaration of Arbroath, if I can even find it. Where is the Declaration of Arbroath? Here it's here. Declaration of Arbroath, and that will tell you where the Scottish people... The Declaration of Arbroath sounds great. Scotland's independent, but then claims to like hail from a race from Israel. Now, I don't believe it to be true. I believe it to be bullshit to lay claim and win an argument, right? But there's people today that hold it to be true or believe it to be true. And thus they're trying to will it to be. Anyway, and they take their Christian beliefs from that. Anyway, I do digress. They believe that they're like God's children and all that. You know what I mean? These people are insane. Insane. They believe they're God's people. And then they're bouncing up in alternative media fucking... They three believe that they're God's chosen people put on here to propagate Christianity. Nothing wrong with Christians, nothing wrong with Christianity. I believe, I've got suspicions, doubts about anybody that needs to read a rule book to know what way's up. But anyway, and please try and bear with the wee bit of off-tangent rants, but you will get to the main bits. So, you've got the Declaration of Arbroath, which I will read in a wee second, getting signed in 1320, Robert the Bruce and the Bernard of Kilwinning, and all the important people of Scotland. The reason I'm pointing to Bernard of Kilwinning, he was one of the most important, and Mother Lodges there. I know through first-hand experience that the clergy of Scotland still engage in Freemasonry and Mother Lodge. Not ooga booga booga baga booba 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 bullshit. First-hand evidence which I have achieved and acquired. First-hand testimony. And I also know they don't even believe in their own fucking religion. They believe in more than one God. And that's the highest up clergy in Scotland practicing Freemason and Kilwinning. Anyway, fact, not fiction, from the horse's mouth, more or less. Anyway, so that's fairy telling to me. Robert the Bruce being synonymous with the Stuarts as well. But I'll get to that in a wee second. Right, 1320, this getting set up in 1320. Let's look at the Knights Templars. Knights Templars were discommunicated from Christendom by the Pope and the French king. Technically mean they were getting burnt at the stake and kicked out of the whole of Christendom. At the time, there was few places in Christendom where the Pope's law didn't reign. Scotland being one of them through Robert the Bruce, who was discommunicated by Rome for executing the next in line for the throne of Scotland. Right, so who's the bastards here? I don't know. They're all bastards as far as I'm concerned, but obviously down the line we're now getting sold through William Wallace, Robert the Bruce, and a few Disney movies about our history, who's the good guys and who isn't. I'm thinking to be a bit more deeper about this. So Knights Templar getting kicked out by 1312. I can't even remember when Demolay was built at this. Oh no, it was Jack, but it was spelt fucking French way. Oh, here we go. Jack Demolay, that's who I was looking for. There we go. Last Grand Master. He died in 1314. That's when he was eventually burnt at the stake. They were kicked. So a year after they were kicked out, he was burnt at the stake. Jack Demolay. Now tie that in with the timing of the Declaration of Arbroath. Go and look at the geopolitics, or the politics going on in Scotland and Britain at the time with William Wallace. Oh, Braveheart! And what do we call it? Robert the Bruce. Robert the Bruce! Where do you think Ali Jadi got his idea for Robert the Bruce? Robert the Bruce, anyway. So imagine you're an order called the Knights Templar getting kicked out of all of Christendom. You've got the heads up because you're the most powerful people in the land. So the most powerful knights and all the noblemen and all that can take the treasure, take the important trinkets, and hide them. Places in the world that they might be able to find. What was the word I was using? Sanctuary. They need to find sanctuary somewhere. So, like, my best guess, and by the looks of the way things are panned out, some of them went to America, some of them went to Portugal, some of them went to Scotland, and God knows where else other pockets of influence may have lay. Others will have better ideas than me. Switzerland being one, an obvious one as well. But what I'm saying is, look at the timeline. Scotland would have been a sanctuary for the Knights Templar at the time when they were getting kicked out, and then all of a sudden you have William Wallace with less armies, less men, less tactical knowledge than his English counterparts, handing their arse to them. Some would surmise that he might have had some of the best knights in the world, the best warriors, whispering in his ear, giving him men, tactical knowledge, tactical know-how, how the few can defeat the many. That's what William Wallace done. That's what Robert the Bruce done at many points. Some would argue it was with the backing, knowledge, funding of the Knights Templar, who through this connection gained influence, a foothold in Scotland to kind of claim a foothold within the monarchy system, within Christendom. So no longer would it just be a order. They would then engross themselves into the actual aristocracy stroke monarchy. Now I'm an advocate for this argument. You can see there being motive there for this thing panning out, and if you were an intelligent order with foreknowledge and foreplanning like these intelligent people were, you would probably do such a thing if you know what I mean. Anyway, I digress. So let's go and now read. So you've got the Knights, you've now got who I think these people are, or who I'm surmising they are, who I'm pointing out the timeline, and where my head's at. Jack Demolay. There's the list of all lodges in Scotland. And Lodge Mother Corinne number 0, and Lodge of Edinburgh Mary's Chapel number 1. They've argued for since their inception, since 1720. What? I don't know. Get this. That's weird. They must prior date, because that's the Central Lodge. That's the Grand Lodge of Scotland, at Edinburgh. Right, but they prior date it to a previous lodge. Although it was founded, the current Grand Lodge was founded in 1726, 16, something like that. Maybe if I click on it, it would tell us. I don't know. I can only try. And they argued about who would have the 0 and the 1 and so on and so forth, because Edinburgh more powerful as the centralisation happened. Kilwinning wins hands down when it comes to documents to prove that they're the oldest functioning lodge in the world. Aye, and that's the way they settle the arguments. The lodge number 1, St Mary's Chapel website, that's shite. Anyway, but you can go and find out if you're 18th century, 17th something. Now where I wanted to go, thank Gary for the wee map here I'm about to show you as we go through the text of Arbroath. Now you can go and read that on your own time, who this is addressed to. This is addressed to the Most Holy Father and Lord in Christ, like the Pope and whatnot. And Most Holy Father and Lord, we know, and from the chronicles and books of the ancients we find that among our famous nations, our own, the Scots, have been granted with widespread renown. So whether it's true or not, right now he's going, boom, ancient books, if this is accepted, then there's no need to go further back in this. And this was done in the 14th century, remember. They journeyed from Great Scythia, however you pronounce it. Sounds very like, so Scotland comes to Scythia. Now, people that don't know their geography, that's the Mediterranean basin there. That is the Suez Canal and the Red Sea. That is the Black Sea, the Caspian Sea, and I'm not sure what that wee ball is there. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what that wee ball is. But this is where laid claim the King of Scotland in the 14th century, backed by all the noblemen of Scotland, for independence of this nation, which the SNP still sit and... Anyway, that we were a nation founded in the Caucasus. Now, let's move on. Khazaria, where the Khazarian Jews oriented from at one point. There's argument about the genealogy, but basically the white bit of Europe going into Ukraine, the Baltics and all that sort of a bit. Mr. Whitey, like me, claiming, who later then went down to Jerusalem and claimed it as their own. But anyway, this is the tribe that call themselves Jews, who are predominantly Zionists, who run all the media, who run everything, and who, and that's why you get this link between the Christians and the like Judaism for the pursuit of Israel, because they're all on the same sides, pulling from the same mumble jumble bullshit that they've deciphered or people have deciphered a particular way for them. Now, I'm even going to blow you away more here, not only with the Declaration of Arbroath tells you. Now, right, well, let me get to the Declaration of Arbroath. So they journeyed from Great Scythia, which is there, by way of the Tyrrhenian Sea. Where's the Tyrrhenian Sea? There's the Tyrrhenian Sea there. It's the one around Italy. Just bear in mind as well that it's now modern day Malta as well. Then it goes on to say through the Pillars of Hercules, and then on to Spain. Right, indicated there. That is what is in the Declaration of Arbroath. And the Pillars of Hercules dwelt for a long course of time in Spain among the most savage tribes, but nowhere could they be subdued by any race, however barbarous. Thence they came 1200 years. This is where I'm going to show you the timeline that blows you away, which will just tie in the Khazarian Jews, the fall of the Khazarian Empire, and this lay a claim in the timeline put down by Robert the Bruce and Mr. Whatever of fucking set ground zero of Freemasonry. How many years before? How many years after the shutdown of the Knights Templar? Can you see where it is it? Thence they came 1200 years after the people of Israel crossed the Red Sea. So the people of Israel crossed the Red Sea roughly about, people would argue 13 to 1500 BC would be a good argument, right? 1200 years ago. About 3,500 years ago. So between 15 and 1200 BC. Just remember that, let me get that's the time frame to where their home in the west, where they still live today. The Britons, they drove out first. The Picts, they utterly destroyed. And even though they very often assailed by the Norwegians, the Danes and the English, they took possession of that home with many victories and untold efforts. And as the historians of old time bear witness, they have held it free for all bondage ever since. This is where the King Arthur legend comes in, the slaying of the dragon, and all this sort of a craziness. And then like St. George and the dragon, it's this time between myth and reality, and where it's really, nobody will ever know what really went on, but there's people out there that believe in this fairy tale. So the people of the Scots that came to the Central Belt and ruled over the Central Belt. I'm going to go into the map in a wee second and show you some beautiful geological observations about this. And held the Central Belt for years. Defeated the Brits, defeated the Picts, sometimes aligned with the Danes and the English, and have held it free in bondage ever since. So Robert the Bruce and all the Scots are claiming their heritage from people from Israel, from the Israelites. After they came from their home in Israel, they stayed there, and then came 1200 years later, came there. Now, that's where they came from. That's Khazaria. Here's what I want to show. Ashkenazi Jews, however you want to pronounce it, are a Jewish diaspora population who consolidated as a distinct community in the Holy Roman Empire around the end of the first millennium. A partner of the Red Sea, roughly about 1200 years ago, some would argue. Partner of the Red Sea, roughly about 1200 years ago, by even some scholars would argue. That's when biblically it's meant to have happened. And there you have hence they came 1200 years after the people of Israel crossed the Red Sea. After the people of Israel crossed the Red Sea, 1200 years later, you can find this, which is around the end of the first millennium. That's when the Ashkenazi Jews popped up. So, as you can see, the Declaration of Arbroath ties in with like some scholarly accepted timelines where the Ashkenazi Jews, and then the Ashkenazi Jews are the white Jews that are in Israel killing brown people, saying this is our fucking homeland, now give me some sunblock before I disappear. That's what Palestinians should do. They should try and just basically the whole world, to get Israel to toe the United Nations line, should have a sunblock block on Israel. No sunblock goes in there until they live up to the United Nations resolutions or something. Anyway, just a joke. But as you can see, the picture I'm trying to paint here, the timeline fits. Not only fits, I mean, like the area of land that Robert the Bruce and all that's claiming fits. Like for my sort of what I'm arguing here, the timeline of the Knights Templars going to Scotland and using it as a sanctuary because Robert the Bruce was discommunicated from Christendom by the Pope at the time, and thus he wasn't under the rule of the Pope. That's why the argument would say the Knights Templars came to Scotland, helped William Wallace, helped Robert the Bruce, cemented their power heartland here in Scotland, which it still is here to this day, which other people argue as well, that the New World, a lot of the, not the New World Order, but a lot of world power players come from Scotland. I haven't argued the World Order because there's obviously people trying to topple that, and this is what we're witnessing, this argument between other world powers. I mean, as they say, the trick of the devil is to make you think he doesn't exist. I don't believe in the devil, by the way, but same example happens when you're trying to demonise your enemy. Demonise your enemy, but I don't exist. Joker's real, but Batman, he ain't real. Well, Batman's real, but Joker, he's fake. Anyway, then talking about killing the Brits and the Picts. In their kingdom, they have reigned 113 kings, their own royal stock, the line unbroken, a single foreigner. Again, good white fucking lineage, and that's what these elites. There's actually the elites admitting that you need that unbroken lineage as part of the argument and claim over the land. That's where the claim of these titles, and thus it's like a fucking corporate. It's like a corporate takeover with these title claiming freaks. Anyway, the high qualities and deserts of these people. You can go and read the rest of it. It's like, oh, hear ye. It's better in your head than it is read out loud, especially by me. And this is where a lot of people dote on. You know, see all these Scottish patriot pricks that don't even go and scratch beneath the circus. Oh, the fucking stone is good. Aye, but it's just all enslavement by morons that have fooled us for fucking day dot. And it looks like if you go and trace it back, it looks like there was a corporate takeover by the Knights Templar in Scotland, creating Freemasonry as a fucking control structure, which still exists to this day. Boom shakalaka, here's one of the major control structures unfurled in front of your eyes, and all you do is need to go and read the Declaration of Arbroath, which was a public fucking document. But remember, back in the 14th century of 1320, when they wrote this bad boy, how many people that might be a bit sceptical about these cunts riding about, lording it over us, how many of them could read? How many of them could read? Did they ever think that people... And it's all here for you to read. This is what Robert the Bruce. Now go and look at all the historical things I've took you around a lot of people watch my channel. If you haven't, go and check it out. Hundreds of historical things. I think the places I've touched on. For Stirling Castle, the Pyramid there, Balmoral, the Pyramid there. All the symbolism in Glasgow City Centre, the obelisk in Glasgow City Centre. The arch, the High Court, oh man, everything. The symbology that you see in the city chambers and stuff. And it all boils down to this is who's in charge of us. Not Scottish people, the people that journeyed from Greater Scythia by way of the Trithynian Sea and the Pillars of Hercules. Sound very fucking Scottish to you? And then they fucking just destroyed and survived in Spain and anywhere, no matter however barbarous the other races were, i.e. the fucking native people. Read between the lines, man. And what they'll do is they'll claim if you go there and slaughter cunts and claim the land, nobody else slaughters you, you win. And that's the reality of these people that have slaughtered people in the past, took this land, and nobody else is slaughtering them and taking the land. Donald Trump upsetting the apple cart, a wee bit of changey monkey happening right now. That you better believe it, but none of them are going to unenslave you. So there's my story of the Declaration of Arbroath, and the links to Freemasonry of it, the links to the Knights Templars of it, the links to current day Zionism and the fight for that area of land. The continued want to crusade to control Jerusalem, which is still very present today in the form of Donald Trump, who, by the way, his mother's Scottish and birth certificate is held in fucking Edinburgh. You couldn't make this shit up. Fucking Putin as well. Go and look what the fucking Russians done during the demise of the Ottoman Empire. The Russians were part of the ones that put the first knife in the Ottoman Empire. Then the French and the Brits came in and fucking, yes, Mr. Mohammed, no 2 bags full, Mr. Mohammed, just do this, Mr. Mohammed, just do that, Mr. Mohammed, and backstabbed him every course of the way till the Ottoman Empire was no more. Not that I'm a fan of the Ottoman Empire, I just want to understand what's happening here. Who's fighting who and for what fucking reasons? Knights and goblins and fucking all sorts of crazy ass Freemasonic fucking titles floating about, doing all sorts of crazy Bodo shit in the name of being honourable and protecting their oaths and shit. Fuck yous. Anyway, fuck off back home. Let me see if I get anything else I want to go over. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, the Central Belt of Scotland. That's what I wanted to go over, right? Robert the Bruce, synonymous with that, right? One of the oldest, not one of the oldest, the oldest known continuously fortified area of Scotland, full stop, is here if I can find it. No, doing a bit. Where are you going, Bojo? That must be it there. Hold on. No, there it's there, sorry. My bad, man, my bad. There's Dumbarton Castle, this is it here. Dumbarton Castle. This is something out of King Arthur and the legend. Now, this is... We are reading into that legend, whether I don't believe it to be true, or whether it maybe is true, but this is the longest continuously fortified area of Scotland, Dumbarton Castle. Go and look who held it, who warred over it when, who fought, who won it and whatnot. But if you controlled this, you basically controlled the whole of Scotland, because if you controlled Dumbarton Castle, Stirling Castle and Edinburgh Castle, the trilogy, that's you controlled. Oh, fuck off with all this piss. That's you controlled the whole of the Central Belt. There's Edinburgh up there. There's Stirling up there. Stirling will be just hiding up here, I think. There's Stirling Castle. Stirling Castle will be up there somewhere. So Stirling Castle, Edinburgh, and Dumbarton Castle. You controlled that trilogy. And if you look between Dumbarton Castle and Stirling Castle, it's these big massive fucking mountains where these few lowland areas to cross from north to south. That's you controlled that whole area, and people wanted to control that area because that was the whole trade and everything between east and west. But the easiest way to trade all over this area and all over this area, so important, and through the development of civilization, it's through the development of the concentration of the population in that area. So that's why you have the 3 very important castles, Dumbarton, Stirling and Edinburgh. Go and look at them, the history of them, go and look at the symbolism in all the cities. William Wallace and Stirling with the pyramid, King Athel's seat, literally King Athel's seat in Edinburgh, and in Dumbarton Rock with the legends of King Arthur and stuff that's synonymous with Dumbarton Castle. Now go and look at Dumbarton Castle. I don't know why it's no more famous, to be honest with you. It's really out of fairy tale. Right next to a football ground as well, and the square of a bowling club, and bowling clubs all used to be Masonic clubs. And it's just a coincidence that they're all played in a square and bounced up in Victoria times and everywhere. So here's Dumbarton Castle. I don't know if you will be able to tell on this. Go and look at pictures of this. This is a sheer cliff face right round here. More or less dominated by water. Very easy defendable one side. With a small crevice right here. Where the first ever fortification, the oldest fortification surviving is this. That's the chalice, the big door that comes down. their modern fortifications and stuff there, and fortifications round there. But back in the day, you basically had to fortify this wee bit, and nobody could get up there without coming through this wee crevice. It was a natural fortification, an amazing natural fortification that was built upon, approved upon, and fortified. Oh God, I can't remember the time frame now, but it's the longest, most continuously fortified area in Scotland. So if they came, and if you're coming, say the Declaration of Arbroath has got it right, and they sailed all that way through the Mediterranean, Italy, through the Pillars of Hercules, right up here. If they came up this way, it's only natural they would end up the Clyde, because that's calmer waters. You're just getting calmer waters. It's still deep waters, but calmer waters all the way up here, and as you were going up the Clyde, you then come to this very naturally, easily fortifiable bit here. Perfect for docking with boats. Easily you can come by land and sea, and amazingly fortifiable, pretty much impregnable over the years. Go and look into the history of it and all that. And go and look into the Freemason history with the Jacobite Revolution and the fights that went on in that castle through the Jacobite Freemasonry Revolution, a fight within Freemasonry. Freemasonry isn't the Freemasonry that once it always was. All these, they can take over and change the agenda, and that's why it's so confusing, I would argue. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that wee presentation about the Declaration of Arbroath. Something to think about. And when you are watching the UK column, Mr. ex-GCHQ freelancer here, Mr. ex Navy officer, I was just a concerned citizen about Plymouth that put out a magazine. Then I got an award from the Church of Scientology funded human organisation, Garish, and this guy, Scots are Israelites, fucking the 8th tribe, the 12th tribe, the 19th tribe, who knows. Look out. Anyway, that guy, see that guy on the left, he even gets a tan in Scotland. You know what I mean? But anyway, David Scott, Christian. Casper the Ghost, GCHQ, Christian. Brian, got an award from Scientology. Garish, Christian. All part of the system. All turning up in the wag the dog internet media. And we're on Millennial Rose, wooing you millennially with his woes and his tone and his yes, well, hi there. Yeah, well, hello there. My name's Scott Webb. Nah, sorry, I'm just taking the piss out of people for the West Coast. Anyway, but I don't know what that guy's all about. That's my take on the Declaration of Arbroath. Thank to Gary as well for going over that, and I think I've shown everything I wanted to show. I should have. Alright, YouTube, thumbs up, sharing Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, all the good stuff. Next Tuesday, the 26th, I'm not sure what's going to be happening with the show. Reality chat should be tonight, I think. I'm not spoken to the guys, to be honest, but I'm sure it will be on. And I'll try and put stuff on over the festive period and whatnot. Maybe something this Friday. Maybe a wee Christmas special, see through the F.E.A.R porn from the streets. And I think I'm going to do that on Friday. That's my plan to do on Friday. So stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for the continuous live shows in the new year. Alright, YouTube, thumbs up, share it on Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, Patreon and PayPal buttons down below if you want to show any financial support at all. It's very much appreciated, and thanks to everybody that does. And leave all your comments, good, bad, ugly and indifferent. All the other social medias down below as well, check them out. Alright, YouTubes, catchies.
It's a F.E.A.R, F.E.A.R, it's a F.E.A.R, F.E.A.R, it's F.E.A.R, F.E.A.R, come on. It keeps the cheese and the maize and the rats and the race and those peasants in the days like Edmund Bundy's. It's a F.E.A.R, come on.
Keeps clear.